Madridistas, we're back in Madrid. It's the first home game back in the Santiago Bernabéu. And of course, it's the long-awaited debut for Kylian Mbappe in front of 85,000 Madridistas. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down my match preview of the Real Valladolid game and telling you what Real Madrid needs to do to avoid another Mallorca mistake. And of course, giving you my official match prediction. But before we get started, if you're new around here, I'm Dally with Dally FC, and I cover all things Real Madrid. And at the end of the video, if you like the content, please hit that subscribe button. Right now, smash that like button. Also, let me know your official match prediction in the comments below. Real Valladolid is back in La Liga, and the last time they were here, Real Madrid absolutely smashed them. Kareem the Dream gets a hat trick in the game, and Real Madrid ultimately win the game 6-0. And that's what exactly needs to happen in this matchup. No more Mallorca mistakes. No more. No excuses for it. I don't want to see it happening. When it comes to the lineup in this game, Carlo is a man of consistency, right? He has the same gum. He has the same haircut. He wears the same suit. And he has the same lineup. Unless his hand is forced. And unfortunately for Carlo, his hand is forced in this one. As Ferland Mendy got the red card in the last game, he will be out for 3 games, and this is the first one of his suspension. And so, of course, Fran Garcia will be starting instead of him. And as you can see now on the screen, this is the starting lineup that I expect Carlo to roll out there once again. And honestly, everybody, I'm okay with it. Let me know in the comments, though, who you would have starting in the starting lineup. I'm okay with this 4-3-3 lineup. You know, this is a lineup I talked about before that lower competition teams should be just fearing, honestly. And unfortunately for Real Valladolid, that's kind of what they are. This should be a game that gets goal after goal after goal, and we should be hearing constantly throughout the speakers, Hala Madrid, Inadi Mas, and the Santiago Bernabéu. And that's what should be happening in this game. Now, however, as subscribers to this channel, and you know how I feel about him, this is my alternate lineup. And of course, I have Arda Güler in this lineup. As you can see on the screen now, this is the alternate lineup I would love to see Carlo roll out there. I would love to see Arda play at the 10 with Vinny and Mbappe up top. There's a couple things that I think that Arda would bring to this lineup. First of all, the control and the vision that this kid has at only 19 years old is insane. The playmaking ability, the set pieces, the corner kicks that he would bring, and just the controlling of the game that we were really much lacking in the last one against Mallorca. I think that would be a benefit. I also think putting Jude back a little deeper, and he's talked about it in the past, and so this isn't a surprise to anybody. Jude likes to play a little deeper than the role he's being asked to play at Real Madrid. Now, granted, if he's banging in goals and getting assists, it's tough to complain. It's tough to complain, honestly. But I think Jude playing a little back is going to do a couple things. He doesn't have to, exert himself as much, going box to box all the time, making runs into the box. I think his defense would be a lot better in this one, and he can kind of control the ball a lot more too. I also think just the midfield in general would look a lot better too. Unfortunately, Rodrigo getting left out of this lineup, he had a great game in the last one. He was my man of the match in the last one. And so, unfortunately for him, I don't see him in this lineup at all. Bring him on as a super sub, take up Vinny's place. If Vinny's struggling, put Rodrigo over the left. He's more of a left wing than he is a right wing, if anything. So, this is what I would like to see happen. Unfortunately, though, we all know Carlo is going back with this lineup. Here's a 4-3-3 again, as you can see. I'm okay with it. Tactically, though, this is what we need to see in this game. Rodrigo, if he's going to be playing in this lineup and starting week in and out, he needs to stay wide right. So many different reasons for that. First of all, the attack is not centrally focused on the left-hand side. There's some clips I've seen where it's just Vinny, Mbappe, and Rodrigo all on the left wing. That cannot be happening. It's okay if probably 2 of them are there, but all 3 cannot be there. I'm okay with Vinny and Mbappe over there. I'm also okay if Mbappe wants to come and overlap on the right-hand side and then we switch Rodrigo to come inside. That's okay. I think Mbappe should be allowed to, rotate on the left, rotate on the right. I think it's going to do a couple things. The defense actually will be spread out then if that happens in 2. You don't know where the attack's coming from. I think if Vinny and Mbappe are to the left, it's going to pull the defense to the left. And Rodrigo should be able to clean up some of these easy goals for him where just the defense is not focused on him. And so I think that's going to be a big thing. It's going to set up so many runs for them. The switch passes, the ball can be spread out so much more. And I think it's just going to benefit Real Madrid so much. The second thing, and Bellingham was actually yelling at Vinny, Mbappe, and Rodrigo, is finish the attack. Whenever they're on an attack in the last game, we're never finishing it. And what I mean by that is every attack, we are in a vulnerable position if we do not get a shot off. And we have to get these shots off. And force, even force if it's just where the goalkeeper has to make a save. That's fine, force that. But if we can get a corner, a set piece, something like that, anything. And also, how are you going to score goals if you're not shooting the ball? It seemed like last game, we just wanted to walk the ball in to the back of the net every single time. There's way too many passes, way too much indecisiveness in the game. And so I think finish the attack. It's going to allow so much more. It's going to allow the defense, if it is a save, it allows the defense to get back. Bellingham can run back. If Rudiger's coming up, he can get back. Carvajal, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to help so much more. So we have to finish the attack. And the last thing, we need subs earlier. Carlo, you're killing me with the subs at the 88th minute. What's the point of bringing on Brahim, Lucas Vazquez, and Arda Güler with like 3 minutes left? Honestly, there's zero reason that should ever be happening. And so what I want to see is at the 55th minute mark, we need to be evaluating what the situation is. Is Vinny struggling? Bring him off. Is Rodrigo struggling? Bring him off. Is Mbappe struggling? Bring him off. I don't even care. I don't care who it is. Whatever your name is on the back of your jersey, if you're struggling, bring them off. We have way too many capable players on the bench. Brahim is awesome off the bench. Look at him last year. He was fantastic off the bench. I think bringing in Arda Güler too, he's already had a preseason. He's looked great in the last part of the La Liga season and for the Euros. Bring him on. And then Lucas Vazquez too. Carvajal is still coming back. Long season from him. Long campaign in the Euros too. Bring him on. That's a lot more energy out there. We need subs earlier. Carlo, I hope you're watching this. If he's not watching it, somebody send it to Carlo. Let him know that Dali FC, this is his recommendation for him. He won't listen to me. And honestly, you should, Carlo. You should listen to me. Let me know what you guys think, what you would do tactically different than what we did in the game before. I want to see a lot, though, more control of the game in this one. We have not seen that. Honestly, in the Atalanta game, we didn't see that either. We just got the benefit of actually scoring goals in that game and kind of being under control. I worry if we get down 1 goal and they do the low block against us as well. What are we going to do? Because on the counterattack, we were so vulnerable too many times. So I would like to see a lot more control. I would also like to see, if we do make the subs, let's go to that 4-4-2. Let's see that switch. I think it'd be, really interesting to see how do Vinny and Mbappe do just up top by themselves with the whole grass in front of them, the whole pitch. I think it's going to be really interesting. Now, real quick, I think there's a couple people that we need to keep our eye on in this matchup. And the first one is somebody who I think has kind of got a little too much hate for my liking. And I think we've been undervaluing what a player that he can be. Now, granted, he has not performed to his ability. And of course, I'm talking about Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni in the last couple games has not performed to his ability. And I'm not sure if he's still maybe a little hurt. He did sit out the Champions League final. And so maybe he's still coming back from that. But a couple things I need from him. I need way more control. He needs to be a wall in the midfield. We kind of compare him a little to, Rodri too. I think that Rodri is a little better than him right now. Tchouaméni is younger, but I think that the abilities are there for Tchouaméni to be a fantastic 6. A couple of things I want to see from Tchouaméni is control the ball, control the speed of the game, make better passes, and make better, attempts at these tackles and actually win some of these too. I think there's been too many times he's not winning these tackles and he's out in almost, no man's land. I also need to see, we're trying to replace Kroos. We bring Mbappe in and we take Kroos out, and Kroos was such a key part of that Champions League run last year and the La Liga run that we had last year too. Tchouaméni has a couple abilities that I think, they're nowhere near how good Kroos was, but we saw it for him in France when he was playing in the Euros. His ability to actually switch play and have these long balls that are deadly accurate. I could see him passing it long to Carvajal, pass it long to Vinny. There's so many opportunities for him to actually use some of his abilities. And I think it's somebody that we really need to keep an eye on in this one, because when Camavinga comes back, is Camavinga going to come in and steal that 6th position from him? I think Camavinga is a great player, and I would actually like to see both of them in the starting lineup together if we are doing a 4-4-2 diamond. But Tchouaméni is definitely one of the ones I want to watch in this one. And the second, I've been a little disappointed with him as well, is of Rudiger. Rudiger, there's been a couple too many times. He did lose his place on the header in the last one. And I think overall Rudiger does do pretty good. And he's been bang average, though, I think, in the last couple of games. I need Rudiger to improve and not to be out of position in this one as well. The last person is Fran Garcia. In the preseason, I've talked about it on the match recaps. He was out of position way too much. Now, Fran can come in and help us a lot on the attack, but defensively, he worries me a lot. Now, and granted, in this game, I'm not too worried about Real Valladolid and what their abilities will be, just because I think overall we should be much more talented. But I would have thought that in the Mallorca game. I need to see Fran Garcia just something better from him than what we saw in the preseason. You know, as soon as Realmadrid's back from suspension, he's obviously getting the job. But if it's going to be those two at left back, you know, Realmadrid does have a history of getting injured. I need to see Fran Garcia perform in this one too. Stay in his lane, make some good defensive effort in that one, and also help out in the attack. I'd love to see a great game for Fran Garcia. Now, when it comes to my match prediction, I want to say, guys, I really do. I want to come out here and say 7-0, 8-0, 9-0. That'd be something. I don't see it, though. Ultimately, I don't see it. I do think Real Madrid ultimately win this game. I will be going with Real Madrid beating Real Valladolid 3-0. And I think Mbappe is going to get his first goal at home in the Santiago Bernabéu. And that place is going to go off. It's going to be lit in there. Cannot wait to see it. I think I have a couple other ones. Rodrigo. I think Rodrigo's on a hot streak. I think he gets another one. Hopefully it's from the right-hand side this time and not the left-hand side, just because please, Rodrigo, stay over to the right. And a curveball out there, different one. I think Rudiger gets a header off a set piece in this game too. And so that is my official match prediction. I love you all. Thank you all so much for all your support. I truly appreciate it. And guys, we'll be back once again live right after the Real Madrid game. So if you're new around here, subscribe to see the post-game reaction. We have a great time in the live stream right after the match. And so I can't wait to chat with all of you in that one. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video again. I truly appreciate it. This has been Dally with Dally FC. Cheers. Hala Madrid.